In the books. Coming up next, we got a former teammate of Muzzy, Amnesiac, going against Zalae. This is a rematch from DreamHack Austin Finals. Amnesiac and Zalae, I believe, were in different divisions in the previous season. Amnesiac in Division A, Zalae in Division B. This is our featured matchup, actually, for today. So let's go ahead and check in on our two players and see what they had to say about each other.
I'm Lil Bart, Amnesiac, the young savage.
My name is Paul Nemeth, aka Zalae.
I don't think I would have the drive I had unless I had the amount of talent I had, because I wouldn't do this if I didn't think I could be the best in the world. The period of time after I lost in the World Championship, it was really hard.
Oh, he gets it! Called it! The sap, and Amnesiac is not happy, and understandably so.
Definitely not at my best, but it's just not going to define my career. There was no way. So I decided that I was going to be the person who came back stronger and proved that they were one of the best ever.
My initial thoughts on the other players in my division is that I'm in pretty good shape. I like my chances against these players. I think I can beat them up. They're a bunch of stupid noobs. Hearthstone's very complicated, and an effective strategy for me is to try and simplify it. I play my minions so they're in play, I hit my opponent in the face so he has less life. I focus on the fact that tempo is good.
I actually play a lot of tennis and a lot of Hearthstone. Playing both has made me better at both. Tennis is just a slugfest sometimes. You just have to be there longer than the opponent. And I play Hearthstone games where I'm just like, I'm not going to give up. Like, I'm gonna stay in this game, I'm gonna find a way to win.
I don't think mental strength is important in Hearthstone at all. It's really strictly a physical game, and everything else is just a distraction. The thing I'm most looking forward to in Hearthstone Grandmasters is beating my opponents to a pulp. Just kind of physically dominating them, you know?
So I think my experience for Grandmasters was different from a lot of people, because in my mind, there was just never any way I wasn't gonna be in the league. I've been top 5 in points in North America for like 4 years now. I have a big presence online. So in my mind, when they announced Grandmasters, I was like, all right, let's do it.
You know, it would be pretty cool if I could be first place in the Grandmasters system, but to be completely honest, I don't expect that.
I do think that there are some people in the league who are sort of thinking that their goal is just to kind of not get relegated and do all right, and I think that my goal of winning is going to trump them.
Yeah, second place. That seems like a realistic goal. I could probably finish second place in the Grandmasters program.
Some choice words from both players. I was told that the webcams are also pretty epic. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I don't know what that means.
The backdrops last season from Amnesiac were very low effort, to say the least. In fact, I got a chance to hang out with Amnesiac a lot. And he told me that Season 1 wasn't his best. In fact, Season 2, Amnesiac from 2016 is going to make a comeback. He said he's going to try his absolute hardest because he was focused on graduating high school, getting all the stuff out of his way. Zalae, in the meantime, seems like he is enjoying life to its maximum pleasure.
Zalazy.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, that's what he's
laying around.
That's what he's been calling his streams.
Oh, is that what he's? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Zalazy. I don't know.
That's
For
funny.
some reason, he's been streaming from his.
I know why. Zalae actually suffered a very unfortunate injury
Oh,
to
did he?
his back, and so
Okay.
he couldn't work out. And by doing so, it kind of restricted his mobility. He told me he was really bummed about it because Zalae was on a big health kick.
Mhm.
So he decided to just he's like, well, streaming for a while and sitting in the chair and like bad posture and all stuff like that hurt his back.
Yeah.
So as you sit up straight, you're like,
And I have terrible posture. It may look
We
like
all
I have
do.
good posture.
It's actually a prerequisite for casting.
I'm actually much taller than my posture indicates. Like I'm like
Yeah, I
almost
look
a
a
foot
lot
taller
taller.
than Dan.
I look a lot taller than TJ.
Also, your chair is higher than mine. Like if I put my chair up to equal Dan's height and sit up straight, hold on. That's the wrong button. That's the right button. I think I just broke my chair. Nope, I just unlocked the back so it can go back now. This
Zalae
was a lot more
and
awkward
Amnesiac
than I thought it was going to be.
both brought the Mage and Warrior deck, but Amnesiac brought Rogue and Priest. Meanwhile, Zalae, if you look at his deck list, he brought the Paladin and Shaman. We highlighted this deck at the beginning of the day. as Quest Shaman was a very interesting deck, to say the least. A lot of people weren't sure if Shaman even was a viable deck. And even if you did bring it, you'd probably bring the aggressive version so you can punish things like Mage for being a little too slow. So, Zalae bringing the Quest Shaman, that's the big question mark for this series. You heard Firebat say he even tried to convince Zalae to bring the Quest Shaman, but he didn't.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's like on the verge of being good enough to be played in these lineups. But I'm on Firebat's side. I don't think it's quite there yet. It has a lot of, matchups where it falls too far behind on board. It's kind of one-dimensional in regards to like what its win condition is, what its game plan is. And it does have some inconsistent battle cries. Like there's some things that you want to have go face, and there's some things that you want to have control of the board, and sometimes you don't often can interchange those two. Like Sandstorm Elemental on an empty board of your opponent's poor. But this is my real height, actually. Dan and I's chairs are...
Is it? Or are you overcompensating, PJ?
Dan and I's chairs are the same height right now. The back of my chair is just higher than the back of your chair. They're different models.
Oh, gotcha. So if we just, conspicuously turn our chairs inward together.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But getting into the series here. Now, Warrior is an interesting matchup for this deck because it does have a lot of value and a lot of burst damage if they have the time to acquire it. And you do, generally, against Warrior.
The webcams just tell two different stories altogether. One player very clearly optimizing for peak performance. He's got his SpongeBob hoodie, his Red Bull bandana. He's got his water bottle soda ketchup combo.
What
the
is
assortment of unstoppable power to fuel his Grandmasters performance.
The
and
ketchup.
then we have Zalae on the couch.
He looks so
who
sad
looks
right
like
now.
he's ready to tell us his life story. Zalae, when you look at this picture, what do you see?
The ketchup is for max gains, Dan.
It is a staple of all great American diets. Ketchup and soda. And of course, his water bottle is filled, meaning he hasn't been drinking water.
Which pains me. I take pride in being one of the most hydrated people in any room I walk into.
That's right. It's all water weight.
I have a...
Dude, your water bottle is empty.
Yeah, I have a 1,500 milliliter bottle, 48 ounces.
Just say things in liters. Don't try to artificially say big numbers to...
1,500 milliliters.
Yeah? It's just 1.5.
48 ounce bottle. And I drink.
Can you say that in imperial measurements so that my American-sized brain can understand that?
I fill this up every 1.5 to 2 hours. And drink it all.
Wow. How often do you go to the bathroom?
A lot.
Actually, don't answer that.
A lot. No, I'm not ashamed of it, Dan. I'm proud of my hydration. Everybody should be.
I drink a lot of water, too.
I know you do.
I do, just not as much as you, TJ. I hope to get to your level. I'm a rank 5 dad legend water drinker. But if I had time every month, I'd get to your level. It's just a numbers game. Zalae figuring out if he wants to fight a little bit better for board tempo through this Titanic Lackey. He's stopping stopping the...
He's not stopping Restless Mummy.
Militia Commander.
Oh, Militia Commanders.
Or Wrench Caliber.
There's no Militia Commander in the deck.
Yes.
So, actually, putting the Titanic Lackey on the Evil Totem plays around both Wrench Caliber and Restless Mummy.
Does it?
Yes. Restless Mummy would kill the Evil Totem. Wrench Caliber wouldn't. If you buff 2 health on the Evil Totem, Restless Mummy doesn't kill it because it doesn't. The first iteration doesn't die. And neither does Wrench Caliber.
What to do?
Oh, you're saying he should have put on the Evil Totem.
Yeah, if you want to protect the
yeah,
Evil
yeah,
Totem, you put it on the Evil Totem because that
Yeah.
guarantees you get another
But what if you
turn.
wanted to protect the Titanic Lackey?
Then this is correct.
Sorry, of course. If people don't understand, the joke is Titanic Lackey is always protected by whatever.
Yeah, it is.
They would think we're actual morons. Little do they know.
We're just faking it.
Yeah, joke's on you. We're just pretending to be stupid. All right. In all seriousness, this Warpath, is it time to pull the trigger here for Amnesiac?
I don't know. See, this deck, you're killing an evil totem because those lackeys came from the evil totem, effectively, since it had 2 turns of value. A 1/1 that replaced itself. And that's it. Because you don't kill the Sludge Surfer.
So you kill like 1.5 cards.
You're effectively killing 1.5 cards with 1 card, but a whole turn. But if you don't, you're giving Zalae more value with Evil Totem, and it is realistic for Zalae to keep holding on to Kobold Lackeys, and there's a 2-turn, pretty much unavoidable lethal setup in many scenarios with Barista Lynchin in the deck for Zalae.
Of course it's the
You
right
hero
way.
power, you play 3 Kobold Lackeys, you Barista Lynchin them back.
Yes, this is actually a very similar situation to what I did. As soon as I saw Zalae post his deck list for Grandmasters, I queued up and I played a Warrior, and it was exactly that situation. I was like, why is the Barista here? It feels like super greedy. And then I play against Warriors, like, oh, okay, because I go way over the top.
Yeah, and that's oftentimes how you win against Warrior, because if you think about it, you deal 12 damage on the first turn, 24 damage on the second turn, because you get 6 lackeys back because Barista's Battle Cry is also copied. So you play Hero Power, 3 Kobold Lackeys, Barista Lynchin, and then you get 6 Kobold Lackeys back. Next turn you Hero Power and 6 Kobold Lackeys. 36 damage over 2 turns. And it's not that hard to achieve, right?
Doesn't seem that unfeasible. Another lackey being added to the hand. Full hand resources here for Zalae. Amnesiac picks up Blastmaster. Boom. No Dynamatic to help clean things up here. Would have been very nice.
I also see Amnesiac's taking a page out of Muzzy's book, growing a mustache.
He's been working on that for a couple weeks.
Yep.
I will say though, you know, it's gonna come a time where it's gonna be hard to make any jokes about Amnesiac because he's already like taller than me, and he's already like accomplished way more in high school at his point of life than I have ever done. Zalae picks up Earthshock, which is already like a pretty nice way to answer the Ziliacs to help push through. But there's no like life gain to worry about.
Yeah, that's it does allow him to hold on to 2 more 1/1s. I don't know how relevant that is.
Yeah, I wonder if instead maybe Zalae is willing to constrict his board a little bit by like trading some things in. Like this turn you could play the Flesh Shaper. Oh, Flesh Eater's a lot more savage. Trade it into the Ziliacs and then evolve it with the Witchy Lackey.
Yep.
We've seen some of these Quest Shamans play Mutate so they can actually capitalize on this exact combo.
Yeah. The deck naturally runs a lot of cards that are like understated for their cost, and it also the one that runs Mutate runs like Former Champ. So you have a turn 5 like tempo play where you play Former Champ and then you buff the Former Champ with Mutate. So you have a 5/5 and then a 6-drop, which is a very powerful play. Same with Giggling Inventor, card that's already played in most of the decks. You play Giggling Inventor, you Mutate, you get an 8-drop and the 2 Anoitrons. Moga Flesh Shaper as well. So Mutate makes sense in the deck, but it's too inconsistent because you cannot draw those tools and draw Mutate, and it's a 0-mana card that often doesn't do much. And so I think like the modern iterations of Quest Shaman don't run it much, but like if you look on HS Replay, the highest win rate ladder version does run Mutate, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think those kinds of data sample sizes are taken across all ranks. And
Yeah,
also,
taken across all ranks.
It's across like a large period of time. Like a week ago, it might have been the case, but maybe past couple days, I feel like I haven't seen it very much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I climbed like 200 to top 10. I didn't see a single shaman in there, and maybe 1 druid. A bunch of warlock.
To Highlander Warlock.
Yeah, there's a player, I think he's in top 10 legend right now. His name's Robot Wizard.
You're just
crushing
making that up.
me. No, I'm not. Shout out to Robot Wizard for crushing me like 3 games in a row
TJ, it's just nonsense.
with Highlander Warlock.
Zalae only has 1 board slot that he can utilize, and I'm looking at buffing this 4/4 so that he can't answer it with anything easily.
Problem for Zalae here is that he's not assembling as much burst as he'd like, but he does have a lot of resources, period. He has Kobold Lackey, Weaponized Wasp, Life Drinker, and the Goblin Lackey, kind of, burst damage. It's only 2, but
This would be a good time for a master plan.
can sometimes be the difference maker. And keep in mind, because of all these, this Lackey generation with Sludge Slurper and the Evil Cable Rat, Shudderwalk will generate a lot as well. And it does deal direct damage with Life Drinker guaranteed,
Okay, then.
and with the maybe have a chance for face damage with the Lackeys.
Well, Amnesiac's not going to really be too phased by this shield slam with the hero power.
But
Kills it very cleanly. There's no bloodlust.
there's no bloodlust, but this is just a lot of chip damage coming in. That's the...
These lackeys and Novice Engineer have been attacking since turn 2.
Yeah, this Novice Engineer has already dealt like 4 damage. Pretty
I wonder
good.
if Zalae wants to start investing into the damage now, like hero power Life Drinker, hero power,
What to do?
and then like, I don't know, play other stuff like his Mogu Flesh Shaper.
He does have to get cards out of his hand, so...
Yes.
I would probably start. Life Drinker is one of the hardest cards to use when you're going for like big burst damage in the late stages, because
Yeah.
the hero power plus that alone is just 6 mana.
He could also just maybe like hero power and Faceless Lackey instead.
Yeah, but that would just be it for his turn, because he can only trade in 2 of the 1/1s.
You're
and he'd
right.
Summon 3 minions, so that'd be his whole turn.
Okay. Well-
So I think, yeah, I do like trying to push in some damage here. And Life Drinker is also 6 damage, but it's predicated upon having a Lackey on board, so he might as well use the, while slightly less mana efficient, the one that has a condition that you need to meet in order for deal damage. Both are 3/3, so it's not any more or less board presence.
That's right. Ooh. So he picks up the Eternium Rover, which allows Amnesiac to capitalize on whirlwind effects and gain some armor. When your opponent starts hero powering and hitting you in the face with the Weaponized Wasp for 6, feels like it's already room for concern.
Yeah.
Another Eternium Rover. You could double Rover, double Warpath. Clear the board.
Yeah.
It is his main activator for Plague of Wrath. I think that'd be one concern to have.
He could start just picking apart the board without Warpath. Just turning over,
that's
turning
right.
over.
That's right. It has Rush.
Yeah, start attacking in, but is actually going to use Warpath. I guess values the armor gain. I mean, with 9 mana, there is a possibility for Zalae to set up multiple turn lethal. He knows that there's 3 lackeys still in hand. And, I mean, at 10 cards going into Zalae's next turn, that's a pretty scary position to be in at 19 health. Yes, 19 sounds like a lot, but against this deck, it's not as much as you think it is.
Just more value.
Yeah.
Hero Power Life Drinker allows him to bounce back the Youthful Brewmaster. Could also just go for the Giggling Bender, just spread out maximum amount of annoyance to Amnesiac. His opponent already did use the Warpath. No Flesh Shaper. Zalae feels this is good enough. Snip Snap. Whoa. I think Snip Snap's a massive draw. What do you think, TJ?
I mean, yes, but you're attacking Snip Snaps into Divine Shields.
Well, you
and
gain armor every
Untooth.
attack. Armor is based on the...
You're talking about for magnetic. I thought you were talking about for just picking apart the board.
Yeah.
But yes, one Snip Snap onto each of these and keeping these Eternium Rovers healthy Yeah, actually, that's really impactful. He can, you know, go up to 12 armor here and have the 3/4 Eternium Rover Snip Snap combinations rolling in. Decides not to, though. Instead, going to go with Dr. Boom to try and clear up this board position.
Yeah, more mana efficient. The longer you wait for the boom, I mean, you want to have higher impact, and the 7/7 challenges a lot.
Isn't it more efficient to trade the Eternium Rovers into Divine Shields first? Because those are guaranteed 1 damage, where the Boombot hits are guaranteed more?
I think so.
Yes.
Also, I believe Zalae only had 2 bombs, but if Amnesiac had a 3rd bomb in the deck, he absolutely should have traded his Eternium Rovers in.
Well, yeah, even with 2 bombs, I think you play Dr. Boom and then trade 1 Eternium Rover into each Divine Shield, and then the Boombot goes into the next Divine Shield, because then you have a bigger potential for Boombots to not go into a Divine Shield.
Yeah.
So probably a missequence there from Amnesiac. He clears off everything but the 1/2. So, yeah, not really that big of a deal, but could have secured more face damage potentially.
Zalae wants to take down this Dr. Boom, can do it in a variety of ways. Interesting that he chose to Goblin Lackey the Voltaic helmet. Or the Spark, rather.
Also interesting that he played the Goblin Lackey first and played it in the middle of his minions that could attack. Because if he was planning on playing Faceless, he could have gotten Direwolf Alpha, which would have changed the positioning of his Goblin Rush.
You're right.
And let him sequence it. So, I mean, that's a really small thing because it's such a small percentage chance for you to get a 2-drop that buffs adjacent minions attack. Just Direwolf. But still something to keep in mind to maybe be a little bit more efficient. So,
yeah, I think that Zalae has the right idea. I think just some small things could be optimized in case he goes get lucky. I think he's just, you know, he's assuming he's not going to get lucky.
as do we all. But also good on Zalae to empty his hand because Shudderwalk will generate a lot of stuff.
Okay, then.
He'll draw a card with Novice. He played Sludge Stripper, Evil Cable Rat. So I guess it won't generate that much stuff.
Okay, then.
A little bit of a tricky turn for Amnesiac here. Does he want to utilize? He definitely wants the hero power. That turns him off from being able to like utilize Snip Snap to its maximum potential, but he could use Snip Snap to clear most of this board.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
He could clear the whole board, I believe, with a Snip Snap. With the Snip Snap.
Yeah. I think Amnesiac wants the hero power. Microbots are too hard to turn down this spot. He also has to go relatively quick. Definitely not a fan of waiting for the very last second to get all your attacks off.
Yeah, because there's the animation on the 1/1s, there's the animation on the Mummy. So it looks like he got everything in, so. Even showing respect to the unpowered Mauler.
Ooh, it's a good pickup for this hero power. Draw 2 cards. We don't want to Shudderwalk until we know that we can get some real big swings off of it. Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to save that, though? Do you want to, like, Life Drinker instead?
Well, he will generate lackeys from Shudderwalk.
That's fair. So then he can Life Drinker instead?
Yeah, I think he wants to Earthshock, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, weaponize Wasp's Face, get that little bit of damage in, get a card out of his hand. And I think he definitely wants to play Life Trigger before Shudderwalk to maximize damage. But this deck just plays a ton of 1/1s.
It does.
And it kills you.
Yeah, and I like that Zalae's using it, given that he already is committed his lackeys. But without the Barista, I mean, Amnesiac still seems like he's in a pretty okay spot here. And Omega Assembly has a lot of room to throw a bigger wrench into Zalae's plans. Dynamatic.
That's good. 2 Warden taunts not as effective in this matchup as in other like damage-based decks because they go over the top a lot.
Amnesiac can just kill the 3/3 and play the Dynamatic to clear things off. Play the Frightened Flunky at the end, or Unpowered Bot could also work too.
Light the fuses!
Another one.
Another Frightened Flunky or another Gym Ward?
Another Frightened Funky.
Yeah, I think those 2/2s are really nice to utilize your mana more efficiently. Zalae's playing a lot of cheap minions. Bog Slosher, pretty meh, but you know, it helps buff the Life Drinker. It helps get the Life Drinker 6 damage in right now.
Yep. I want to do that. I think his turns are planned out. Go Hero Power, Life Drinker, Bog Slosher this turn. Next turn, Hero Power, Life Drinker. Do something else with your mana. The turn after that, you Shadow Walk and kill him the following turn with the lackeys and the cards that you've drawn from the Shadow Walk.
Amnesiac picks up Clockwork Goblin to help trade into potential stuff, but I don't think he really needs that right now. See what he gets off the Frightened Flunky.
I kind of want a Mega Defender here.
Yeah.
For the counter push.
12 attack.
Yeah, the 12 attack.
I wonder how much he's considering Mind Control tech as well. If he extends too far
This
into
would
the
be a
board.
good time for
true.
a master plan.
Time is somewhat on his side in the sense that Zalae's used a lot of the lackeys and burst from hand. So it's not like Amnesiac has to worry too much about everything that Zalae does from the hand.
Oh, I love that fuse thing. This would be a good time for a master plan.
Yep, like the pickup.
Snip Snap. Magnetizing. And pushing for some big damage. I like it. Plays around Mind Control tech. Zalae is forced to Earthshock that. Sandstorm Elemental. Another good card to use against a wide board, but against the Magnetized Snip Snap, not so much. This is kind of scary territory still.
Yep.
Zalae might have lethal next turn with Shudderwalk.
Yeah, it'll deal 6 guaranteed with the 2 Life Drinkers being played. And has the potential to deal more because he played a few Kobold Lackeys this turn, but the Kobold Lackeys, obviously, with Shudderwalk, it will deal damage to a random target on the board. But at the very least, he's going to draw 2 cards from the Novice Engineers that he played. He's going to generate Lackeys with Sludge Slurper, Evil Cable Rat. Gonna summon some Annoyaltrons.
Yep. I think if I'm Amnesiac, I want to play a little bit of a wider board that can withstand some punishment. Because if you don't, you play weaker minions, you give chance for Zalae to clear the board with Shudderwalk, and then there's less
Okay,
targets
then.
for Shudderwalk to choose to randomly hit with like lackey damage.
Yep.
Otherwise, he could clear the board with the rest of his Mummy and Hero Power.
Yeah.
What's he just gonna do with the rest of his mana here?
I love that
Mega
fuse.
Devastator? Unpowered Mauler?
No tomb can hold me.
Probably the Omega Defender, yeah. Powered Mauler's not guaranteed to play a spell next turn and just wants that additional damage on the board to start pushing aggressively.
No tomb can hold me.
It doesn't seem he wants to be very aggressive. Zalae finally gets to freeze the Lynchin.
Yep, but I think this is a Shudderwalk turn. This is a high exchange for lethal with Shudderwalk by itself. And I think he's got it because the cards are green. It's very likely. It deals 6, it needs 1. Oh, yep.
Oh, lands it. And it's kind of what we're talking about by having a higher chance of hitting just a few targets. Zalae looks like he got over that hump because he does have that other life drinker in the pool. Oh.
All right, the second life drinker didn't even get there. Didn't even need to get there. So a big win for Zalae, and you can see the power of the deck when given enough time. It can just assemble all these resources, assemble all this damage, and just chip away 1 point of damage at a time, or 6 points of damage at a time, whichever way you decide to do it. And it got there. Didn't even see like any crazy combos with Burst Lynching. It was just Zalae playing for value, keeping a full hand, going off where he needed to, and finishing the game with the Shutterwalk at the end.
What I liked is that Zalae specifically teched his matchups to seem to be a lot better versus the slower decks. You know, I don't think this is the deck list that you would bring to ladder 100% of the time. Like, if the meta is slow enough on ladder, yes, but there's a handful of aggressive decks out there, so you got to be careful. So, you know, double youth for Boommaster, super greed.
Yeah,
I like that.
Burst of Lynching, pretty greedy in itself, like one mind control tech, just kind of there for some matchups where you need it. But usually against faster decks, or at least board-centered decks, you'd play two. Earthshock's there, though. That's kind of a catch-all right now. It feels like Silence is underplayed for how many minions there are that
need to get silenced.
That need to get silenced.
Yeah.
With pretty much every reborn minion that's played, getting through a lot of taunts, but definitely a win and a nice showing for the first Quest Shaman of the season.
All right, we're going to take a break. Zalae is currently up 1-0. What's going to happen in this best of three? We'll find out when we come back to the Hearthstone Grandmasters.
The shadows are rising again, darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tomb, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the markets, and ancient mysticism. There's surely scorching deserts, adventure, monster of narcissism. House states think annihilation, obliteration of civilization. Now is the time to be brave. Evil's come to enslave, but this league's gonna save the world.
My name is Paul Nemeth, aka Zalae, and you can find me on Twitter at ZalaeHS, and more importantly, my stream, twitch.tv/ZalaeHS. Tune in, twitch.tv/ZalaeHS. A day in my life, I wake up when I feel like it, then I go to the gym when I feel like it, after that I stream when I feel like it, and then after that, I try and do something productive, and it doesn't always work. My personal goals for this year, I prefer to make short-term goals. So I try to live each day as best I can and make good decisions in the moment. And I don't focus too much on long-term goals because that can be complicated. And I think it's good to keep things simple and focus on what's important in the here and now. You know, it would be pretty cool if I could be first place in the Grandmasters system, but to be completely honest, I don't expect that. Just saying's a little bigger than me. Yeah, second place. That seems like a realistic goal. I could probably finish second place in the Grandmasters program. And I feel like second place it's a nice, comfortable spot for me. I'm into second place.
I'm Will Barton. I'm also Amnesiac, the young savage. I was Amnesia SC for like 3 years. But since I didn't have a microphone when I started playing Hearthstone, everyone was just like, oh, it's Amnesiac. And I was like, no, but there was no mic. So I was just like, yes, okay. So I think my experience for Grandmasters was different from a lot of people because in my mind, there was just never any way I wasn't gonna be in the league. I've been top 5 in points in North America for like 4 years now or something, 3 or 4 years. I have a big presence online. I think people get excited when I come onto streams and watch them. I'm somebody people can kind of get behind. So in my mind, when they announced Grandmasters, I was like, all right, let's do it. In terms of Hearthstone, I still really think that I have what it takes to be one of, if not the best players in the world. And I really intend to put in more work than I did last year and be more disciplined. I think I got a lot better at using my time over the past year, and I want to apply that skill and show people just how good I can be.
Zalae's currently up 1-0 over Amnesiac after the Lone Quest Shaman has gotten a victory over the Warrior. Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Grandmasters. TJ.
Did you move your seat up even more?
TJ is
Look
looking.
how tall you look.
Yes, that's right. I am a very large human being. You're sitting up straight now? This is me sitting up straight now.
I don't know if I should try this again. I'm ready. Let's cast some Hearthstone.
Okay. The next game in this series, now that Zalae has gotten the win with the Shaman, I wonder if Amnesiac is going to switch decks or not. Keep in mind that Zalae does have the OTK Paladin in his lineup as well, so if Amnesiac is careless, this Paladin's also going to target some of these other decks that are expected to be brought, like Priest and the Mage. And I think those are like the two things that to be worried about if you are an Amnesiac fan.
Yep. But in this matchup, he's going to be playing Warrior, which is, especially Bomb Warrior, one of the toughest matchups for Paladin. Because one, they have armor gains, so you need multiple combos to be able to, multiple Holy Wraths to be able to get the job done. And two, the bombs make it very difficult. A deck that wants to draw through its entire deck is guaranteed to take any bomb damage that is shuffled into the deck,
right,
from Amnesiac's side. Because in order to get the combo off, which you pretty much have to in order to win this matchup, you're not going to exhaust your resources. You're going to be taking a lot of damage. So very difficult to navigate. Zalae keeps Prismatic Lens looking for Christology.
Yes, trying to look to draw through his deck. Prismatic Lens with bombs do not work in a very good interaction. If you draw the bombs, you end up just losing whatever mana discount that you would get.
Yep.
And you inherit the 5 cost of whatever first you drew if you end up drawing a minion before the spell, which it ends up working, I think, exactly that order every single time. I don't remember if I have ever played Prismatic Lens and drew a spell first. I usually draw the minion first.
I think it always works that way.
Yeah, we've tested it a handful of times. I don't think I've ever been disproven otherwise. Ooh. It could just be a crazy statistical anomaly.
Yeah, it says draw a minion and a spell from your deck, and I'm pretty sure that draw always happens in that order, a minion and then a spell. Christology picked up on 1 for Zalae. Just, I mean, it's so good. 1 mana draw 2.
It's one of the most broken card draw mechanics in the game in the sense that 1 mana draw 2 is absurdly good.
And on top of that, 1 mana draw 2 curated cards from your deck that you can, put in the exact 1 attack minions that you want, and be able to get those early on in the game, guaranteed if you have Christology. So very powerful.
Zalae doesn't want to give any armor to Amnesiac unnecessarily, so opting instead to use Flash of Light here. Amnesiac just gonna curve out. I'm almost curious, didn't Amnesiac have Wrench Caliber in his opening hand?
He did.
And he threw it away?
He did.
Huh.
I think minion damage is like the most important, because you're gonna get the bombs and you're gonna get them shuffled in, right?
Job's done.
Maybe I'm making some like pretty sweeping assumptions about that, but
Well, the thing is, there are ways for Zalae to play around the bombs. If you get close to the bottom of the deck and the bombs get shuffled in, you play timeout and then you draw cards. And then you draw the bombs and take no damage. So I don't know if we'll ever get to that point, but it's something to keep an eye out as the game progresses.
Yeah. But Amnesiac just pretty much playing on curve here, trying to play the biggest thing he can every turn. And that's kind of what you have to do. Now, this isn't like the bomb warriors that we used to see. They're just like super hybrids now. They play some bomb cards, but also a lot more control tools than we saw before the Saviors of Oldham expansion was released. There's Plague of Wrath in there. There's Super Collider. Double Brawl is pretty much in every list. And Augmented Elec is not seen very often in Bomb Warrior now. ETC played it early on in the day, but I think that's an outlier.
Man, Zalae really wants to draw cards, but he doesn't want to take damage. I don't think he has too much of a choice. He also doesn't want to play the minion still to give armor to the warrior. Also, card draw and how many cards holding his hand is of a concern too. Just throwing out the Elven Archer. Amnesiac has the Restless Money ready to go, and then he can push 5. Seems good to me. I'm trying to think if there's any downside. Maybe he wants to gain that 1 extra armor, or sorry, 2 extra armor for that 1 damage.
What now?
I think that's a worthy trade.
Yeah, at this point, because again of the modern warrior builds, it's much harder to reach the 50 plus health threshold that was more possible previously, because of the fact that
What now?
you're cutting more armor cards like Weapons Project, Harrison Jones, that kind of combo, which is just that 6 armor gain. He does play double shield block in Blastmaster Boom. But I feel like with Bomb Warrior, you're much more suited to go aggressive and try and kill them with bombs later on in the game than you are to try and reach that 50 plus health threshold.
Yeah, and you know, 50 plus threshold is still not really enough sometimes. And this is what Amnesiac's doing. He's going to shield slam the 1-3. Zalae has Zephyrus in the hand, and Zephyrus can be manipulated to offer you Tyrion. And Tyrion, without weapon removal in Amnesiac's deck, is going to deal 15 damage to the weapon. So it's a lot more than 50 sometimes if you're able to save your Holy Rats and get the Tyrion down. That's why I think Amnesiac's prioritizing this life gain so much instead of just trying to rush tempo out and pressure Zalae's life total. He cares about that armor gain, and Zalae knows that he cares, and therefore is trying to deny it. But with that trade in hero power and shield slam, I think it should be abundantly clear what is Amnesiac's game plan at this point, which is wait it out and fatigue Zalae.
Just made it a lot easier when you have bombs.
Yes, bombs do play a pretty significant factor.
So it just forces Zalae to play slightly differently. Soup Vendor Flashlight.
There's plenty to go around. Must move quickly. Job done.
Ooh, bomb being drawn, which means the lone bomb in Zalae's deck. There's nothing for Blastmaster Boom to latch onto.
Yep.
Oh, Wrench Caliber.
Yep, that changes it, and I think that's going to be the play here. It looked like an Armor Up Restless Mummy trade in Eternium Rover push forward turn, but with Wrench Caliber picked up and a Blastmaster Boom able to be played on curve with multiple bombs, that seems like the way to go.
Yeah, I like it. Give it 1 armor, push 4 damage. Zalae running a little bit out of room in his hand. Still has spot for 2 more cards. Or 1 more card, rather. He was holding 9.
Yeah, it's the toughest part about this Holy Wrath Paladin deck is hand management, because you do have a lot of expensive removal spells. Equality, Consecration, Shrink Ray, Hammer of Wrath, and Dumping cards early is one of the things that you'll see players do often, playing cards that they don't think they'll need in the matchup. That's why we saw the Elven Archer earlier. 1 mana left just to get the Elven Archer out of hand. Not really super relevant in this matchup because there's not anything that they need to equality and kill immediately on 5, like Cycle Mage, where they can't leave a Mountain Giant up.
Right. So they're gonna just draw cards, really taking his time and thinking about stuff. Oh, another bomb being drawn. Wow.
Surprisingly not good for Amnesiac because he'd rather have the extra bombs for Blastmaster Boom, but it does, on the bright side for Amnesiac, it does force Zalae into potentially different lines of play.
Right, he might have to time out a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Wow, using Consecration here.
I mean, this is 7 damage showing on board, plus a Blastmaster Boom coming down.
I mean, that's scary. 7 mana is the Wild Pyromancer Shrink Ray combination. That's one of the earliest you can get off like a full board clear with it. But your opponent doesn't have the mana to time out. You are worried about Subdue. Subdue is like the 2 mana 1/1 spell, or spell that turns the minion into a 1/1. But I think if I'm Amnesiac, I'm just going for it.
Yep.
Zalae, in the back of his mind, worried about drawing cards here too because of the threat of a bomb. He has to clear 7/7, or he has to play timeout and draw cards.
He could like Shrink Ray, trade into into Omega Devastator, and then not play anything. But then he's dead to Snip Snap.
Let me think.
So the thing is with Zalae is that he might need to, he has to also discount his Shrivala, because he'd be okay with taking this damage if he could play Shrivala and the Crystal Smith Kangor, but he needs to invest his mana now. If he plays Shrink Ray, Shrivala goes down to 7 mana, and next turn he still can't play Shrivala, Baleful Banker, and Crystal Smith Kangor. So he's in a tough spot. He might legitimately have to just time out this turn and play Consecration.
Yeah.
And by doing this, hopefully the Boombots absorb, or he absorbs the Boombot damage that go to face. And then he discounts the Shrivala to 5. Okay. Oh, Amnesiac can set up a lot here.
Yeah, play Restless Mummy and Wrench Caliber and make it more awkward for Zalae to try and stabilize on board.
Yep, looks good to me.
I guess prioritizing the armor. I guess not really a big reason to play Wrench Caliber if he knows he's going to have the mana to do so next turn. Still a little bit awkward because there's no way to play Shrivala, Crystal Smith Kangor, and Baleful Banker in this turn. Can just play Shrivala, Baleful Banker. Won't get as much healing. Last one attack minion in the deck.
Yeah, Blood Mage Thanos, not really that useful in this position.
Does give Amnesiac some useful information. Knows that Crystal Smith Kangor is now in hand.
Oh man, is Zalae going for a Holy Wrath in this spot? I don't think so.
Yeah. I think you need to Shrivala here.
I must move quickly.
Oh man.
Oh jeez.
I hope you like my invention.
Shrink Ray, Shrink Ray. Okay. Then Amnesiac.
He has a bomb out for lethal with Wrench Caliber.
Yes. He has 2 bombs in the deck if he swings with Wrench Caliber.
Yep.
And also sets up like the 2-turn lethal, right? Because Wrench Caliber goes face, so he puts his opponent down to 2 life. Alternatively, you can also trade a minion and then go for the weapon swing.
I wonder.
Yeah, actually trading the minion would leave more power on board because the Restless Mummy would come back as a 3-1.
Right. Might be better for him to leave up the 1/1 though on the Restless Mummy, because then if Zalae tries to go for a board clear, he leaves up more power on the board. Also, another thing that I'm considering is if Amnesiac should play Archivist Elysiana and look for damage, because Warrior does have a lot of direct damage, and this Wrench Caliber is a surprise. His odds increase from 11% to 20% for a lethal next turn, which is a pretty substantial jump, right? You almost double your chances, and it doesn't really get better than that.
Yeah.
So I think he goes for it, but the Archivist Elysiana is something to consider for the future turns.
All right, let's see.
2 out of 10. Amnesiac pulling up for the jumper, but he pump fakes. Throws it up. All right. Zalae has big heals. Crystal Smith Kangor, Shirvala, Baleful Banker. That's 4 mana out of the 9. He could also toss in a Blood Mage Thanos or even a Prismatic Lens.
We do have to talk about the implications of playing Shirvala Baleful Banker, is that he no longer has access to 2 combos.
Oh, no. Kangor? Okay.
Which means that Zalae has to find a way to deal the extra damage, which is a lot of extra damage at this point.
Yes. This is correct sequencing, by the way, so that Amnesiac doesn't accidentally swap Holy Wrath with Shirvala. Because that would mean that he's absolutely not, it's not possible for him to get the combo off.
Yep.
Must move quickly.
Well, I mean, I guess he would have 1 Holy Wrath still, because he's already thrown the Shirvala on the board, so it doesn't really matter. Never mind. Baleful Banker it is.
Let's stash that away.
Job done.
Amnesiac draws the Town Crier. Not going to be that useful here. Looks like a pretty decent brawl opportunity. 3 out of the 5 times you end up doing, being very happy, just eliminating all the heal. You can even throw in the Town Crier, make it 4 out of 6.
Could just Shield Slam.
Could.
Actually,
I do want to kill the Kangor.
Well, he can kill the Kangor because he trades in Restless Mummy and then trades in the other Restless Mummy.
Yeah, you give him 4 life too.
You give him 4 life, but at this point, the onus is on Zalae to win the game, right? Because he only has access to 1 combo now, since he's already used Shirvala and the Baleful Banker. So
That's fair.
So he needs to find a way to piece together that extra 15 damage or whatever it is. But Brawl is hard to use. And his Armor Tool is not really going away anytime soon.
Exactly.
And Zalae's going to ding, but then he's going to see the Shield Slam, and...
I mean, it was a nice outcome for Zalae in the sense that it forced out more removal from Amnesiac.
Yeah.
Forced out more of his cards. Zalae's still in quite the pickle.
Yeah, I mean, he could just die right now still. There's 3 bombs in the deck.
Bomb 1. Amnesiac!
Just take your shots, man!
A little premature.
Yeah.
It's great, though. I love the pump fakes.
Yeah. The bad part about this is now Zephyrus is active. Since he picked up 2 out of 3 bombs instead of just like 1 out of 3.
I mean, Zephyrus would still give him Tyrion, but then if Amnesiac has exactly Super Collider Restless Mummy, he dies.
Yeah, that's true. And I think he needs Tyrion to have a chance at winning because he needs to find the extra damage.
Right.
But he also needs a higher life total because he has 1 bomb left in his deck.
He doesn't have any other life gain except for the Shirvala herself.
Yeah.
Must move quickly.
I think Zalae is cornered here.
Yeah, does seem like it.
You like to play with fire?
Oh, he's going for the Shirvala guess. 1 and 6. Or the bomb.
Nope.
You know, I like that risk because he might also draw the bomb and offset the damage. So 2 out of the 6 outcomes were good.
And that second Holy Wrath is not like that big of a deal, right? That's as much as he could hope for, as best of a chance as he could hope for.
Another bomb can get shuffled in here. Seems good to me. Clockwork Goblin, Restless Mummy, Hero Power. Or is it Clock Goblin and not Wrench Caliber, Super Collider? Probably not Super Collider. It's only 1 damage. You're not setting up a 2-turn lethal. I do like the Clockwork Goblin.
Yep.
You know, doubles your chances. Once again, Amnesiac's going to raise his hand for a Kobe.
This one's an easy one.
Yeah. On Kobe's birthday, nonetheless, by the way. Today is Kobe Bryant's birthday. Today in history.
That wasn't part of your today in history? Also, now there's 2 bombs in the deck, so Zephyrus is no longer active. The situation that the entire Hearthstone community was afraid of. When they
Well, yeah,
Highlander in a bomb warrior dominated meta.
it was funny because they were like saying that would single-handedly invalidate all the Reno decks, and it just couldn't be farther from the truth.
Yeah.
Reno Mage was just so powerful. Even if you shut off their bomb stuff, they still won.
Yep. You're playing Wrench Calibers while they're playing one-man Alex Strazas.
Whoa, oh, again. Oh, he's guaranteed to die here, isn't he?
Yep, he is. Yeah, he was hoping for he Holy Wrath, draws Shirvala, then plays Shirvala.
Got it. Well,
But then he gets the damage in, he develops, and he heals out of range.
Right.
That was what Zalae thought his best chance of winning was, which I honestly think is correct.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
I like his Holy Wrath plays. I think that they don't work out. They were a low chance to work out, but they were rooted in logic in the sense that he had a 33% chance to maybe get himself out of that situation, right? 1 in 6 to land the exact card he needed. And honestly, in that position, if you say that he had a 16, 17% chance to win, I'd be like, that's higher than I thought.
Yeah, that's much higher than
Right.
I thought.
Squeezing out the percentages, which is important.
Yeah, but Amnesiac ties up the series, which means we're going to game number 3. And taking with this is again an expected win, right? It feels like, especially Bomb Warrior, which has the aggressive game plan, puts the Paladin in awkward situations, is much more favored to win than even Control Warrior, which is also a favorite to win. So.
But what's scary is what Amnesiac has remaining left, right? If he has Priest and Mage, those are both very weak to the Paladin deck. So what does he have to remain? Because Zalae, when banning the Rogue, very clearly trying to just isolate the Mage and the Priest.
Yeah. But we did get word that Zalae's actually going to Warrior.
Oh.
What?
Oh, well, I mean, he's making the right choice because Amnesiac, I believe, picked Priest.
So it's okay. There's still some debate, I think, within the competitive community about because Holy Wrath Paladin, while it's not a new deck, it's sort of new in this metagame. We don't have as like huge of a sample size of the matchup. Firebet said earlier in his winner's interview after he was able to defeat Priest with Holy Wrath Paladin that he thinks it's favored, but I've heard a lot of people say the opposite. That Priest gets on the board too fast, Paladin's removal doesn't come online yet, and they can win the game before Paladin even has a chance to get that removal online. So.
Sure, this is more guaranteed, and it works out perfectly fine.
Yeah, but let's say Amnesiac had chosen Mage, then he'd be in a rough spot. But Mage is a much worse matchup against Holy Wrath Paladin. If I was in Amnesiac's spot, I would just pick the deck that I was the most comfortable with, if given like equal percentage chance that Zalae picks a counter matchup in both scenarios. And maybe that's Priest, or alternatively, maybe not the deck you're most comfortable with, but the deck you think, in a nutshell, is more powerful. Does he think that Mage is worse against Paladin than Priest is worse against Warrior? I don't think so. I would probably pick Mage in that situation. I think in a nutshell, it's more powerful, but...
I mean, Mage has the ability to just win any game, regardless of how unfavorable it is, because of Luna's Pocket Galaxy.
Yeah, but players would argue that Priest has the same thing, because of high rolls with combos.
Yeah, I mean... look at Amnesiac's hand. Northside Cleric Extra Arms.
Yeah, that's the core package.
Oh, okay. Never set Ritualist. Zalae thinking real hard. Dr. Boom Mad Genius to keep or not keep.
Also Eternium Rover. Keep or not keep? I don't think you keep Eternium Rover. It pretty much dies for free against everything.
Kind of true, yeah. Because there's the 1-3 doesn't really do too much against stuff.
Yeah.
In this matchup, I can see what Abar's talking about. Turning Rover doesn't seem that great.
Yeah, against Mage as well, it doesn't seem that great.
To keep from Zalae.
Yeah.
The upside of having Snip Snap or even Shield Slam is pretty good.
Like, I think in this situation, if Zalae plays a Mega Assembly, then he should not have kept Eternium Rover. If you're going to keep a 1-drop in your mulligan and not play it on 1, then you shouldn't keep it in your mulligan. A general rule.
Why is that?
Because why are you keeping it if you're not going to play it?
Well, maybe something changed his mind, and you play it next turn.
Well, if a card's going to change your mind about playing a 1-drop on 1, then you mulligan the 1-drop away and look for that card that's going to change your mind. That's my argument.
What if you have no card that you're looking for? I guess you do have Town Crier. Town Crier would have justified it a lot.
I don't know. I just going through my thought process here. I'm not saying, oh, this play is completely incorrect from Zalae. I just think that, you know, Eternium Rover has been ingrained into people's minds as core to Warrior, core to as a turn 1 play. But in certain matchups nowadays, I just don't feel like it's that strong, especially in this matchup. It's a liability, and I don't often keep it.
Dang. Amnesiac, quick check of Zalae's Warrior deck. Let's see if there's any way for him to answer a pumped up Cleric.
Looking specifically for a silence, I think.
Probably, yeah. And there is none. There's Militia Commander, Restless Mummies, and Omega Devastators as the 4-mana cards.
Oh, and there's also the argument of Militia Commander in the deck. I don't like it anymore. I like being able to guarantee what minion I draw from Town Crier. Like knowing that it's going to be either Ziliax or Restless Mummy and not having to decide between multiple options.
Oh, man. Do you go for it?
I think you more arms this turn and then extra arms, inner fire next turn.
Well, the Inner Fire does the same amount of damage on both sides, just +4.
Yeah, but it's a surprise.
It's less all-in for sure. This is getting out of control. Quick, someone nerf more arms.
Couple days.
Yes, quite literally. Oh, man. All right, Zalae, maybe he plays a couple minions, hope they stick, and then brawl next turn.
Yeah, I think Clockwork Goblin and Eternium Rover is the option here. I don't think you sync damage with Restless Mummy in here. You're giving him a free card if he has Circle of Healing plus heal or Neferset Ritualist. It's back to square one, and you gave him card draw, and you expended a card to do that. Yeah, Clockwork Goblin, Eternium Rover. Can't clear both, and then go for a brawl next turn.
I must choose.
You have 2 brawls.
What now?
Zalae looking like he's in trouble here. What's he gonna choose to do? Shield block. I was not expecting this.
It looked like he wanted to play Eternium Rover or thought about it at the last second and didn't.
So Plague of Wrath being drawn here means that if Amnesiac gets greedy and tries to draw cards, he might be in trouble. He could also just keep pumping this extra arms.
If he had gotten the Eternium Rover off, it would have forced Amnesiac into the awkward position of needing to trade to play around Brawl / Plague of Wrath, and then he'd be protected from damage. I honestly think that some minion should have come down there to open that opportunity up, especially after seeing the draw. I think like Zalae realized that too late. Like he shield blocked with the rope already burning halfway. Moused over Eternium Rover, you could see it looked like he was about to play it at the end and didn't. So it's gonna take a little beating because of it.
More arms. He's got 8 arms now, plus the 2 that she has naturally. He's got 10 arms. Zalae can't do anything. He still hasn't played minions. He kept this Eternium Rover, and he's still not playing it. I'm sad.
Though, I mean, he's still at 25, but Amnesiac, there's a lot of investment in his Northshire Cleric, but it's not like his whole hand. He's not all in on the Northshire Cleric. If Zalae uses too many resources to remove it, Amnesiac could just reload. Now, we can see that he doesn't really have much to reload, but he's got the tools to get another minion beefed up enough to reload. Like if he draws Injured Blade Master, he can just circle healing, and all of a sudden he has another 4/7 that's threatening Divine Spirit Interfire.
Somebody order a bomb.
All right, Zalae finally extends onto the board with a Clockwork Goblin. Just waiting for a Divine Spirit just to end this game.
Yeah.
All right, Northshire Cleric, Pyromancer, Circle of Healing combinations are online this turn.
Yep.
And the best part is Amnesiac can still heal things out of range of the Plague of Wrath because he has a never set Ritualist.
Yep.
Do you like to play with fire?
There's 5 cards drawn this turn, I believe. 3 from this, and then drops never set Ritualist.
He's opening himself up with the possibility of lethal. Well, if he drew Divine Spirit plus change,
he would need Power Word Shield, Divine Spirit,
Interfire. Right. So he's opening. He was just opening up that possibility.
No, that wouldn't do it.
Let's move quickly.
Power Word Shield, Divine Spirit, Interfire would be 26.
Oh, because of the damage from the Pyromancer. Right?
Yeah, because Power Word Shield would bring it up to 13, then Divine Spirit would be 26.
I've got more left in me. Right. Here's enough.
Well, now Brawl is finally live, but damage has been done. Amnesiac's drawn cards dealt almost half of Zalae's life total. Would you throw in the 1/3 in there? Why not?
You kept it in your mulligan. You might as well.
Yeah, I don't see a reason for Zalae to do anything but Brawl here.
I wonder.
I mean, he's got the removal lined up. He's got Brawl into Warpath, Plague of Wrath into Brawl. Has Restless Mummy to fight in between. And has Dr. Boom Mad Genius to stabilize after that and generate resources. So, despite like a blazing fast start from Amnesiac, Warrior just...
Oh! Happy birthday, Kobe!
Oh, he threw the Divine Spirit! Oh, man! Oh, jeez.
Amnesiac with a little chuckle there. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Amnesiac takes the series 2-1 and wins his first kickoff match here for Season 2 of Hearthstone Grandmasters.
Yeah, just pretty brutal for Zalae there at the end. Everything kind of going wrong. He was set up for success. If anything else, had won the Brawl pretty much, as we alluded to. But
there you go. So even if he set up the Brawl, he would have lost the Brawl.
But his
right?
early game was rough, man. Like keeping the Eternium Rover, not playing it on 4 instead of going with Shield Block to find additional resources, not setting up to kill the Northshire Cleric and taking enough damage early on, set up Amnesiac for that situation. So, but it all concluded with just a bad beat at the end. So.
Let's go ahead and check in with Amnesiac after his victory. Will, you there?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
All right. So, at first you don't succeed, try again, and then try again after that. The third time we got there, though, with the Kobe. Did you know today is Kobe's birthday?
That's dope. Dude, I wasn't going to do it when there were like 3 bombs in his deck, but he hits the first 2. I'm like, there's no way he doesn't hit the third one. I mean, like... They're writing the script. They know what I want. So I'm like, I did a shimmy. I like look left, look right, lean back, but then it's not there.
That's
but
right,
on the third one, I nailed that one.
Yeah,
that was really good.
The triple threat pose was there. You had the pump fake nailed and everything. Well done.
For sure.
All right, talk to us a little bit about going up against Zalae. The Quest Shaman, did that catch you out by surprise going into that match, the way things panned out?
I mean, I was pretty happy to cue that matchup because I think when you hit Dr. Boom, you like almost always win. But I just never got the heal 7 armor. Like I don't think I rolled it once in like 12 turns, so I like slowly died. But I think when you have Dr. Boom, you never really run out of stuff in that matchup, and you kind of have enough life to work with. My early game wasn't great either, but I thought I played okay. Some of the turns, like with killing his whole board with rush minions and stuff, were kind of technical. It's probable that I made a couple minor errors, but I felt good about that matchup, and then kind of just died, which is okay. It happens sometimes. Yeah. Dude, both Kobold lackeys hitting me was messed up, though. That was unreal. You guys see that?
Yeah.
I was just like, wait, do you get to choose where they go? Like, did I miss something?
It was 2 1-4s, right? Because there's 4.
I mean, I was super dead anyway.
Yeah,
he was super dead anyway.
He had life drinkers in the pool, so you were dead, but it was just the way that panned out was really funny.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I guess the only technical mistake, we were like, oh, should you trade the Turning Rover into Divine Shield before the boom bots? But I mean,
that turn was weird. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to do that. I think your prez are probably right.
It was a minor difference that didn't really matter, obviously, since you ended up taking.
Yeah, you were super dead
you took so much chip damage because you didn't have a lot of cards.
Yeah, like the early game went poorly, and then the late game didn't go well. So he just always hitting me for like 6 a turn with 1/1s, and I just couldn't quite stop it in time.
Gotcha. One thing that people were criticizing about was just your ability to commit to Grandmasters, given that you were super busy in Season 1 with school. What's your mentality going into Season 2 here?
I mean, I prepared a lot for this week. I know, I felt really good mental wise. Like, I think I stayed really calm even when some unlucky stuff happened, and then when some lucky stuff happened, I was like right there, ready to play. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I'm like laughing a bit, and I'm also wearing this ridiculous onesie. But like all that
it's
aside,
a onesie.
Wait.
Can you stand up? For
I
us
didn't even
camera?
notice it until now. Please. It is a ridiculous onesie.
It's really absurd, right? I saw it in Target when I was buying things for college, and I was like, I need this.
Yes, please wear that on your first day of freshman year.
Oh, for sure. Is
Great.
this calc too? But I really worked hard for this week. Like, I felt really good about my preparation. I felt really confident in the matchups. I think I'm playing really well.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think last season was definitely a little lighter for me. There was just kind of more going on, but I think I kind of know how to tackle this, and I'm really excited to play more of this format. Like, I think that getting to play more than one deck again is really refreshing for me.
For sure. And it looks like you really pounded that bottle of ketchup right before the series started. It's like, we're like, wow, he's got everything. He's got the Red Bull, he's got the water, he's got a little carbonation, and he's got an empty bottle of ketchup.
That's every food group represented right
now. That's right, all the major food groups for a healthy, balanced gamer diet. All right, Will, I guess that's all the time we have. Do you have any other questions, CJ, for him?
When do you ship off?
Oh, that's right. When's college?
A week from today, I move in.
All right.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, it's gonna be a big change. You ready, Teach?
I don't know, man. My son's moving on. He's growing up. He's going on to the world on his own. I don't know if I'm ready for it. But I wish you the best of luck. It's a cool experience, and hope that we get to see some college dorm background.
Wait, he doesn't have to have the backdrop anymore.
You don't have to have the backdrop anymore. Are you gonna have a roommate? What's the?
I think so.
Okay.
A usual first years have to have roommates. That's usually how it works. But it'll be fun to see how the season develops for you. Congrats on your first win. We'll see you later this weekend.
All right, later, guys. Take care.
And then there was one matchup remaining. We have Bloody Face versus PNC. We are a little bit behind schedule, or a lot behind schedule, depending on how you look at it. But we're not going to be stopping anytime soon.